Luna. When I was 12 years old, I had established a reputation in the neighborhood as a bit of a mischievous boy. I smoked cigarettes and pot and drank pink champagne. As the son of a superintendent of many of the homes in the neighborhood, I received lots of unwanted attention. My mother was manager at the American Belt Factory, located at 640 North Broad Street. Every day her workers, because they were from the neighborhood, would give her the latest reports of my adventures. So no matter where I was, someone would yell, "Look, it is Tio's son. Mira el hijo de Teo." One day, I went to my mother's job to ask for money. This was the first time I ventured into my mother's workplace. Once inside of 640 North Broad Street, everyone instantly knew who I was. Everybody greeted me, even if they were the source of rumors, bochinche, that would lead to my mother eventually beating me. Luna, my mother's co-worker, walked up to me, kissed me, grabbed my arm, and led me to my mother. Once we reached my mother, she reminded her of a coming party that she expected me to attend. She took her hand, put it on my chest, and said, "Y tú me debes un baile," and you owe me a dance. My response was, "Okay, Titi." As a sign of respect, I called all older women Titi, which means auntie. Once I received money from my mother, I ran to Roque's grocery store on 17th and Green Street. There I picked up a torpedo sandwich. I love these sandwiches. They were made of ham, cheese, salami, onions, and a dash of hot sauce. All you had to do was grab one from the large refrigerators that lined the store. Then they would heat it up for you in a toaster oven. Yum! Oh my God, they were so good. As the week passed, before the party, once again I got into a fight. This time it was a struggle with two brothers. The older of the two was about 14 years of age and nicknamed Gordo, Fat Boy. He was known as a bully in the neighborhood, and all the kids hated him. As they began to punch me in the chest and face, I knew that if I attempted to defend myself, the beating would get worse. So I started to walk away from the brothers. As I walked, they continued beating me when I noticed a pipe lying on the street. I made a quick dash for the pipe. With both brothers still behind me, I picked it up, turned, and hit one of the brothers directly on the head. I fucked this shit up. With his hands on his head, trying to stop the bleeding, he began to run in circles, screaming like a little bitch. This gave me the opportunity to start beating on that fat motherfucker. As I began my assault on the fat piece of shit, the adults finally got up off their asses. They instantly grabbed me and protected Gordo, and the other adults were chasing the other brother because he would not stop running. His mother began yelling at me. My mother was alerted and came outside to see what had happened. The mother of the kids began yelling at me. "How could you split my son's head? ¿Cómo le vas a romper la cabeza al nene? You drew blood. Oh my God, you drew blood. Le sacaste sangre. Ay, Dios mío, le sacaste sangre. You're an evil little boy. Tú eres malo. Tú eres malo." I would never yell at an adult, but this lady was going to hear me. I started to scream, "They were beating me in front of you and you did nothing to stop them." I asked them to stop pushing me, but they did not. So I defended myself. I grabbed the pipe and fucked your son's shit up. My mother, now outside, smacked me in the mouth, turned to the lady. My mother, you saw your kids hitting my son. ¿Usted vio sus hijos pegándole al mi hijo? The lady, yes, but I assumed they were playing. Sí, pero yo pensaba que solo estaban jugando. Once she admitted that she saw her sons hitting me, my mother instantly flipped. She started yelling, my mother. Oh, it's okay for your two boys to beat up on my skinny son. But when my son defends himself, you have a problem? Sí, está bien que esos manganzones le den a mi hijo, flaquito. Pero cuando se vira la mesa no te gusta. Then you have the nerve to yell at my son for defending himself? Y después tienes los cojones para gritarle al hijo mío por solo defenderse de esos manganzones? Look, woman, you need to take your shit out of here. Mira, es mejor que te vaya para la mierda. As the yelling got worse, I slowly turned around and ran into the house. I took a shower and got ready for the beating I knew was coming. Inside the shower, I noticed bruises all over my body that were given to me by those motherfuckers. I decided I would wear a tank top to let my mom see the marks. I hoped it would spare me a beating. When my mother came, I was sitting on the sofa watching television and she said, next time don't split their heads open. Just come to me for help. I was shocked she did not even yell at me. She then asked, Mira, ¿te bañaste bien? Did you take a good bath? Sí. ¿Por qué? Yes, why? Porque mañana es la fiesta de Luna. Y ella quiere que tú vayas. Because tomorrow is Luna's birthday party and she wants you to attend. Oh, I took a good bath. And I will take a good one before the party tomorrow. Okay, mommy? The next day was Saturday, and my mom and sister spent all day cooking and getting ready for the party. It was a birthday celebration for Luna, so my mom made pernil. That's pork. Luna lived on 18th and Wallace, a few blocks away from Green Street. I had lots of cousins who lived there, so it was going to be fun. We walked around Roberto Clemente Park, reached the house, which was in the middle of the block. As we made our way to the second floor apartment, Luna greeted all of us with hugs and kisses. When she got to me, she kissed me, then squeezed me hard. I laughed and kissed her on the cheek. Once inside, I immediately sat with the other kids on the sofa, while the adults began to dance and drink. My sister and I sat with all the other kids while the younger ones started dashing around the apartment as if they were in the park. As other guests arrived, many times they would walk over to me and pat me on the head. I would just smile and say, hola. Eventually, the apartment was filled to capacity, and even the halls were beginning to fill up with the overflow of people. While sitting with the kids, I felt this hand grab my hand and pull me up. It was Titi Luna, who yelled, you owe me a baile, and I wanted to get paid now. I smiled and we began to dance. We danced the merengue, and then we switched into salsa. I knew how to dance because my house was a constant location for parties. I had no choice but to learn because the adults always wanted to dance with the kids. This was especially true when the men were too drunk to dance. As we were dancing salsa, she began to ask me questions. Why is your body so slim? Su cuerpo es tan delgado. ¿Por qué? I don't know, Titi. Do you see that big pile of shit over there? ¿Tú ves esa plasta de mierda ahí? Sí, that's my husband. Ese es mi esposo. I want him to lose weight. Yo quiero que él rebaje de peso. We both laughed because we knew that was not going to happen. He had a pork sandwich on one hand and a Schaefer beer in the other. The music changed into a slow song by one of my favorite singers of all time, Sabu. And the song was Eres tú. It is you. She held on to me and forced me to dance. We laughed because we were having a great time. As we danced, she moved us towards the back end of the living room, near the wall where it was a little dark. She held me tight and put my hand on her waist, like a gentleman. She put her hands on my shoulder, and as we danced, I began noticing a pattern. Every time we turned her hand, the one that faced the wall would drop. She would run her hand up and down my body and then put it back on my shoulders. At first, I laughed and asked her, "Why are you trying to tickle me?" "I'm not trying to tickle you, mamá." "Stupid, I'm not trying to tickle you." "Then what are you doing? ¿Y después qué haces?" "I love slim bodies like yours, and I want to feel every inch of it." "Pues me gusta el sentir de tu cuerpo flaquito." "Why? ¿Por qué?" Luna laughed. "Look, just stop talking and feel me. Mira, para de hablar y siente mi cuerpo." "Feel what? ¿Sentir qué?" "Feel this, sentir esto." Luna gently put her hands on mine and moved my hand to her ass. Once there, my eyes opened wide. As we turned, she moved my hand up and she moved her hand down. It was a pretty smooth game. As we played with each other's bodies, she put her cheek next to mine. She would take her hand and caress my head and face. She would say, "Qué lindo. Ay Dios, perdóname, pero eres tan lindo." She would say, "You're so handsome, you're so handsome." As the record ended, she squeezed me hard. We kissed each other on the cheek, and I told her, "I love you, Titi. I love you, Auntie." "I love you too, beautiful. Te amo también, lindo." I went back to the sofa with the kids, and she went back into the kitchen to help serve food and cake. I received the first piece of cake, and that made me feel special. It was my favorite type of cake from Lawrence Bakery. In between the layers, there was pineapple. So with a little vanilla ice cream, I was good to go. It was delicious. At the end of the night, I hugged and kissed my Titi. But when I walked away from her sweet smile faded. I felt guilty. Whenever I would see Luna, I would wave or hug and kiss her. Then when I walked away, I would glance back. Every time her sweet smile would fade, I would see sadness. Te amo, Titi.